Leadershipisation, all things leadership. And this is at the new time of 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time on a Tuesday. Isn't it interesting that when you start something new, what can happen almost immediately is that things start to work against you? So, right outside, and I really hope that you can't hear it, I don't think you can. My street is being totally resealed. So there are people everywhere, there is machinery everywhere, there are trucks beeping as they go backwards, there are steamrollers, all sorts of things are going on. However, we'll just get right into today's leadershipisation. Look, my name is Beth Bergen. I'm an internationally awarded leadership and communication coach, and I work with both individuals and with teams. We've been talking a lot about leadership lately. We're talking about you in your role as a leader, potentially as a partner, a friend, a family member. Perhaps you're in some kind of team activity away from work. Perhaps you're in a group that gives back to community. Perhaps you're in a team playing a sport, something like that. Now, throughout our lives, we all want to be pushing ourselves. You didn't get to be a leader without motivating or being motivated in some way. And some of that would have had to do with you pushing yourself. But what I'm aware of through working with my clients is that there's this really fine line between pushing yourself from a motivational perspective and pushing yourself way too hard, being too hard on yourself. Yeah? So it's that difference between being a motivator and actually being effective for yourself, or filling yourself with self doubt. Filling yourself with self doubt and uncertainty. Are you your own worst critic? Many of us are. And in some situations, I'm way too critical of myself. And in other situations, I probably could have learned more by taking the time to reflect on where I am and how it went. So, some critical reflection, some self feedback, some self analysis is awesome. It's really useful, particularly if you're keen to be honest with yourself. Where it becomes difficult is if there's too much. If what you're doing the entire time as a leader and in all of those roles that I was talking about earlier, if what you're doing is you are being too hard on yourself and you are being too critical, that ends up working against you. It doesn't become a motivator, it actually holds you back because you're filled with self doubt. So, what I wanted to do today was take a couple of minutes just to look at, well, what are these things? What are these things? Where is it that we are really tough on ourselves? What are some signs of that? So, I think I've got 6 or 7 of these for you to have a look at. The first thing is that self criticism. And I was just referring to that earlier. Is it healthy or is it a little bit too much? If all you're doing is focusing on your mistakes, then there's the possibility that you are being too hard on yourself. If what you're doing is focusing on the things that are out of your control, then you are being too hard on yourself, because it's okay to make mistakes. When we make mistakes, we learn and we grow. We learn and we grow. It's okay to make mistakes as long as you see them through the lens of what is the lesson here? What's really, what can I really take from this experience? So, my tip here is to begin to notice what you are doing well and to start to actually reflect on that. Yeah? Are you someone who's never satisfied with whatever your achievements are, keeps on moving your own goalposts. So you almost get there and it's demotivating because you've moved the goalposts. You want to keep achieving, achieving, achieving. If you're never satisfied, and what actually happens is that you end up falling a bit short, you're in that cycle of self doubt. And what you're telling yourself is, I should have done better. Yes, I did that, but I should have done better. Yeah, I was okay. I did these things here, but it would have been much better if I had done this, this, and this. Again, I bring you back to learn the lesson. Again, I bring you back to notice and acknowledge the things that you are doing well. Notice those things and acknowledge them, even if the only person you're acknowledging them to is you. And also celebrate. We're going to talk about that a little more in a moment. It's important to celebrate the things that you've done really well. The third one is comparison. Oh, this is awful. But we get into it. We get into it. And what happens is that you're living your life now, but you see other people's lives. And social media has meant that we're seeing other people's lives, that they're much closer to us than they were before. Maybe, you know, 20 years ago, when you went to somebody else's house, you might have thought, oh, look at the car they're driving. Oh, that's pretty nice. Their house is awesome. Mine's not that good. Maybe that's what you were doing. Now with social media, it's much more in our face. So there's this whole kind of celebrity culture where we're supposed to look like this, sound like this, wear this, eat this, go here for fitness, do whatever it might be. Now, that always, always is going to look awesome. It always looks awesome. Actually, it's quite addictive to keep comparing yourself to someone else. And the reason that it can be quite addictive is because you're wanting to see. And on the one hand, while it's motivating for you, what it's actually teaching you to do is to put yourself down, because often the people you choose to compare yourself to have a whole different set of life circumstances than you do. So if what you're doing is thinking, I'm not thin enough, I'm not fit enough, I haven't got a six pack, I don't drive one of those cars, whatever it might be, you're being really, really, really hard on yourself. The other thing that you may well be teaching yourself is that you are superior to other people. And that's actually not true either. Sometimes we compare, we go, oh, I'm much better than that. And that may or may not have a germ of truth in it. So learn to celebrate. Again, notice what you're noticing. Acknowledge the things that you're doing well. Recognize that this is your unique journey and celebrate you and that journey. Yeah? Excuse me while I have a sip. The fourth one that I notice happens a real lot with people, with my clients, is this. You find it really difficult to accept a compliment. So someone pays you a compliment, and instead of quietly just saying, thank you, that's awesome, thank you, I appreciate you pointing that out, thank you, I love that feedback, what we do is we go, oh, really? Oh, thanks, yeah, I've been doing that for a while. We downplay it. And in downplaying it, what we're actually doing is we are, we're putting ourselves down. We're being humble. Humble's not necessarily the best way to go. You don't need to brag about it, but don't downplay your accomplishments so much that people won't actually compliment you again. Yeah, you want compliments. They're awesome. The fifth one is there's a whole lot of things that are out of your control. And if what you're noticing is that you're making those uncontrollable things your fault as well, and that you're on this autopilot blaming you, that you're being really tough on you, my advice to you is this: learn to differentiate between the things that you can control and the things that you can't control. Because those things that are out of your control can't possibly be your fault. They just it simply isn't possible. So learn to differentiate, and I want you to be kind to yourself as well. That's really important in this, because when you're kind to yourself and you recognize quite realistically that these things are out of my control, I can't do anything about those, I'm going to focus on the things that I can control. What that allows you to do is to be motivated and to take action on the things that you can do something about, which grows you as a leader and a communicator. Yeah. Next one. We all make mistakes. We all make mistakes. None of us is perfect. Learn to see your mistakes as lessons. They're simply mistakes. If you're operating from a point of view of fearing, give me a minute. If you're operating from a position of fearing that you're going to fail, you're actually playing small. You're actually playing small because you'll be so afraid of failing that maybe you're not going to take some risks. You'll be so afraid of failing that potentially you're locked into this cycle of finding someone or something to be able to blame. And when you're locked into that blaming cycle, you're never really able to clearly see the many lessons that might be there for you. You know, what's really important is that you get to shift from that blame game and you see, hey, there are all of these possibilities out here if I shift out from under this. And what that allows you to do is to try new things, take risks, see the lessons, because you're not afraid of failing, because you understand that when you've tried something, there are lessons there, and yeah, you get on with it. Get on with it. And that's what happens. The last one that I've got today is this one. Celebrate, celebrate, celebrate. Acknowledge, acknowledge, acknowledge. Reflect, reflect, reflect. What's really important is that you celebrate you. You celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they are. No matter how small they are. Being a leader is challenging. What got you there, what got you to here, isn't going to get you to the next role that you need to go to. So it's on you to keep on celebrating, celebrating, celebrating those small accomplishments and the big ones, to acknowledge, hey, I did good. Hey, I learned some lessons today. Hey, here are some things I really like and appreciate about myself. And the third thing is to reflect, 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 reflect. And do that honestly. Take that time, slow down, just to reflect on what did I achieve today? What did I learn today? What was awesome about today? What could I have done a bit better? And all of these things will help you to move to a point where you're not being so hard on yourself and you're keeping yourself motivated. Now, the really tricky thing is this: celebrate, 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 acknowledge, 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 reflect, reflect, reflect. As a leader, these are all things that you should be encouraging your team to do. Not only should you be doing these things yourself, but you should be encouraging your team to do them too. It's okay to make mistakes. Help them understand that lesson. It's okay to not be perfect. Great lesson to learn. It's okay to get it wrong. It's okay to not know all of the answers. It's okay to make a mistake. Learn the lesson. Be kind to yourself. And you'll find that the kinder you are to yourself and the more you ask your own team to celebrate, acknowledge, and reflect, the more likely they are to respond to you in your capacity as the leader. I hope that's been interesting for you. There's a real struggle for some people to get that balance between being overcritical of themselves and, you know, just giving themselves enough motivation and real life encouragement to be able to keep going. We want you to move to that next level. I want you to understand that in order to move to that next level, things need to change for you. You're growing, so they're going to change. So awesome. Thank you for that comment. I love it. Appreciate that. Powerful insights. So thank you so much for being here. If you're watching the replay, put hashtag replay. If you've got any questions or comments that you'd like to make, either either reach out through Messenger or through some other means. Please reach out to me because I'm happy to answer your questions. So thank you. Awesome. Wonderful. So I'll see you here next Tuesday at our new time of 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much.